From Cardinal Television Studios, I'm Maria Romeo, and this is your Fisher News Brief. Pope Francis has taken another shot at wall-building politicians, this time in front of thousands of Catholics in Panama. They gathered for World Youth Day. The Pope also spoke on the sexual abuse crisis in the Catholic Church. CNN's Rosa Flores reports from Panama.
At first glance, World Youth Day in Panama looks just like a giant party for hundreds of thousands of Catholics from around the world. But between the festive singing and dancing are messages on serious issues.
To walk in peace together once we found our common ground.
This song, for example, called Tierra de Paz, Land of Peace, sung by an American and Mexican duet, is about the immigration issues that had the U.S. government shut down for more than a month.
We wanted to write about this common ground that we can discover.
The duet says the song is not about politics, but about the solutions that can end the polarization. In several speeches, Pope Francis sang a similar tune.
Esos constructores de muros que sembrando miedos.
Those who build walls, he said, sow fear and divide people, build bridges instead. And while in a public setting, the pontiff addressed the clergy sex abuse crisis only indirectly.
Redes de explotación, de criminalidad y de abuso.
Pope Francis acknowledging that some clergy have exploited and abused the young. In private, Brenda Noriega, a 29-year-old from California, says she asked him about it directly during a small lunch the Pope shared with a handful of young people.
And you felt that responsibility.
And I felt that responsibility.
Noriega says she and other youth ministers have felt angry and wanted the Pope's guidance on how to help youth heal.
And I think that's what spoke to my heart, like the most, seeing his honesty when he said, we are with the victims, we are with the young people, let's accompany them.
Those are conversations that should be had at World Youth Day, say the singers who struck a chord on immigration.
So we are on the side of Pope Francis, fighting to spread hope.
Even though the duet is from North America, they say that their message can be applied worldwide. Rosa Flores, CNN, Panama.
Federal employees are back on the payroll, at least for now. The agreement between lawmakers and the Trump administration temporarily funds the affected agencies. John Lornick reports.
2019 started off rough for about 800,000 government workers.
We went a month without any sort of income or any sort of knowing what's going to happen next.
On Friday, President Trump agreed to reopen the government, which gets those employees back to work.
I have a really fun job. I mean, we like what we do.
However,
we're just hoping and praying that we're not going to be back in the same situation in 3 or 4 weeks.
The deal that ended the standoff only goes until February 15th. Republican and Democratic leaders have until then to come up with a border security proposal, and President Trump insists it includes money for his long-promised wall.
I don't think shutdowns are good leverage. It's a lesson I've certainly learned in my time here. There's been 2 shutdowns since the time I've been there, and the aggressor in neither one was the winner.
I'm certainly hope that we can get an agreement. It's been too long. Too many of our federal employees have suffered.
If lawmakers can't come up with a plan that funds a border barrier, President Trump says it's off to the races. The president says he may declare a national emergency and direct the Defense Department to start building a wall. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The man who won the $298 million Powerball jackpot is quitting his job as a truck driver. David Johnson showed up Friday to claim his prize and talks about what he plans to do with some of the money. Andrea Klein-Thomas reports.
Ooh-wee. Jesus.
David Johnson has 298.3 million reasons to smile. The 56-year-old is the newest Powerball jackpot winner.
I look at the board and like, oh my God. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh.
Johnson is a truck driver who was sick on December 26 but had to go to work to get his holiday pay. He filled up at Arnold Service Station on Linden Boulevard in Brooklyn as usual. Inside, he spent $5 on the lottery, which included buying one Powerball ticket, a quick pick random drawing.
A friend of mine, a next driver for the company, called me and said, Dave, somebody won the Powerball by the gas station. I turned to him and said, "Oh, bro, that's not me, man."
That was for real. Johnson did not check his ticket until 2 days after he bought it. Johnson went back to the gas station this time before work, checked his ticket, and learned he was the big winner.
I was so happy. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was jumping up and down. And when I was driving my car, like, can I drive home? Can I drive home? Can I drive home? I was like, but I just turned the music up.
Johnson hasn't been to work since.
I'm going to lift boxes and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, the job paid good, but it's hard work. So I always wanted to quit, and now I get a chance to quit.
Now Johnson, a husband and father, plans to buy a new house in Brooklyn and help his family. But there's one more thing.
I always want a Porsche. What color? A red one. A red one, so everybody can see me when I drive on the street.
He'll have plenty of money left over from his cash option to live out his wildest dream.
On Friday's International Holocaust Remembrance Day, survivors and family members gathered for a day of prayer in Washington. Carl Willis was there and has our report.
A day of prayer and remembrance.
Agnes Bornstein.
Of the Holocaust and the lives that were taken, and those that were forever changed.
The world must always remember what happens when any society is driven by hate.
Louisa Lawrence Israels knows what hate looks like. She was a young child when her family escaped being sent to the concentration camps by hiding in the Netherlands.
My big wish is that the world will take notice and that maybe one day genocide will stop.
The U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum gathered survivors and family members, as well as the ambassadors of several nations on International Holocaust Remembrance Day.
We remember, but we have to remember consciously, actively.
These flames burn for the lives that were lost during the Holocaust and represent the hope that their memories will not be distorted.
We cannot fail them again by ignoring the rising anti-Semitism and distortion and politicization of the Holocaust.
Lawrence Israel says people must speak up against injustice, bigotry, and hate, preserve and protect historic sites, and call out Holocaust denial.
Everybody is a person. Once we realize that and treat people with respect, we'll get a better world.
In Southwest Washington, Carl Willis, ABC 7 News.
A mail truck turns into a rolling fireball, and a cop passes the time by talking to a sheep. A lot. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
Crazy video from Kansas City shows a mail truck explode into a rolling ball of fire. Resident Brian Riley says the truck appeared to be stuck on an icy hill, wheels spinning and engine revving.
You could just tell the way he was going that he was just getting more and more mad.
Moments later, this happened. The truck burst into flames and rolled down the street, coming to rest in a neighbor's yard where firefighters responded and put out the blaze. A Postal Service spokesperson said the driver is okay and the incident is under investigation. Meanwhile, residents are left scratching their heads.
What caused this scene to happen? It was just insane.
Dashcam captured a South Carolina cop corralling a sheep that got loose in a neighborhood. But it was his conversations with the animal that are the real star of this show.
Come on, come on, come on. I'm taking you to greener pastures.
With the sheep secured on a leash, the cop kills time by making small talk with it. Kind of a lot.
I don't know what you want to eat, man. What about this clover right here? Clover is a very calming thing. Have you ever had clover honey? Clover tea?
Animal control eventually arrived and safely relocated the sheep.
Do not embarrass me. This is a coworker. This is not how I pictured my Tuesday going at all.
Somerville PD later posted a photo of the officer with his new friend on Facebook, which I'm sure he just loved. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
That's all for today's news. I'm Maria Romeo, and this is your Fisher News Brief.